Phil Campbell, HIIT, and Sprint 8. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. You know, this is a very interesting episode. I'm sure I'll have people watching that wouldn't normally watch. So I want to introduce myself. I'm a business investor, and what we normally talk about here are things surrounding the world of owning a business, running a business, how to make it more profitable, how to take it to the next level, how to eventually sell it if you want to, but getting the best out of your business for yourself and your family and so forth. So, what today is about specifically, though, I wanted to talk about something I'm getting a lot of questions back on, which is an exercise that I discovered years ago, have not been consistent with, but can honestly say is the very best exercise I've ever used personally. And I want to give you a little bit of background here, and I can't go into all the details, but I can't stand exercising. I am not a person that enjoys, honestly, I'm not a person that enjoys physical movement in general. If I could sit still and hang out with people, I'm okay. The closest thing to movement that I enjoy is I do enjoy hiking. I enjoy going for a nice brisk walk. But besides that, it's never been a thing I was into. I did sports as a kid. I did baseball. I did basketball. I did football. But I was never good at them naturally, and I did not enjoy them, the physical moving part of it. And I didn't enjoy I certainly didn't enjoy practices and things of that sort when you just work yourself to death. It just was never my thing. And I know that I'm not typical for that. I know there's a lot of people that do enjoy that type of thing and do enjoy pushing themselves to the absolute limit. I loved being thinner when I was working out. I really liked that. As I started getting older, even into just my early 20s, I noticed that it didn't matter what I did to work out. I would hit a wall with cardio and everything, which I've studied this stuff for years, and that the general consensus is if you're going to burn fat, you gotta do cardio. You got to get your heart rate up and do all this stuff. So for a number of years, I'd go to the gym, I'd get on the treadmill and just work out and work out and work out to try and lose that extra weight. And I would be able to lose quite a bit, and then I'd hit a wall. And no matter how faster I went on that treadmill, no matter how much longer I spent on that treadmill, no matter how much of an incline I put up on it, nothing would take me to that next level. I just felt more and more tired, more and more worthless when I was done. Never achieved any sense of a runner's high or anything of that sort. Why am I talking about all this? I'm talking about all this because how you take care of your mind and your body has a huge effect on your business. And if you can't handle this part, you're not going to be able to handle the rest. Somewhere along the line, you're going to hit a wall, and you're not going to be able to get any further because your health has declined. So this is why I'm going into this, and I have earlier videos where we discuss this. So I just want to tell you about the thing that I found. So a number of years ago, I started hearing people talk about high intensity interval training, HIIT. And I liked the idea mainly because they said you can get a lot of a workout done in a very short period of time. And I like that idea because I didn't like spending all that time in the gym. I mean, I was spending, close to an hour doing cardio and then doing muscle training and lifting weights and everything else. And I never felt like I was getting anywhere with it. I'd get a little bit here and there, but it almost felt like it was maintenance after a while. and I could never lose that final amount of weight. So with HIIT, the main idea of it, I went and started watching videos, and early on I caught on to this guy named Phil Campbell. And Phil Campbell is the guy that wrote a number of books regarding this, but he came up with a technique called Sprint 8. And the main idea behind Sprint 8 is that you have a warm up to start, a very easygoing warm up to start out on whatever cardio piece of equipment you're using. I use a recumbent bicycle. That's one of the stationary bikes that you're sitting down in and kind of pedaling in front of you in a very simple manner. And I use a recumbent bicycle, and the idea is that you start out slow, and then after a few minutes, you go real fast as you can. You push yourself to absolute exhaustion, to as close to as 30 seconds as possible. Now, I've never taken it to the point to where I've taken that 30 seconds, and the idea is to go 30 seconds, stop, and slow down for like 90 seconds. And just keep going. You're in recovery mode. So you're going, but you're just going fast enough to be active, but not going fast. You're allowing your heart rate and your muscles to recover. And then you go at it again for another 30 seconds. So each 30-second sprint interval that you're taking is you do that for about 8, which is where he comes up with the idea of Sprint 8. And then you cool down towards the end. So it's an interesting concept, and I started trying this out, and I really liked it. I got this huge runner's high off of it that would last about a day and a half. And the more I did it, the more I liked it. It felt like I was losing weight. It did make me a little more, it felt like it was making me more hungry after a while. Within the first handful of hours, you don't feel it. But overall, I felt like my hunger was being increased. But if it's actually doing something positive for me, I didn't mind that. And so it was one of those things that if you can keep going with it and keep increasing to the point to where you get that full 8. I've started out doing fewer than 8 and not even doing the full 30 seconds, but working my way up towards it. And I think that's helpful, and I think it could take you somewhere. The idea of what it does is that it helps you break down muscle faster in order to rebuild it faster, and it does a great work with your heart because you're using anaerobic conditioning. And one of the huge benefits is the human growth hormone that you're naturally having being produced by your body and being inserted back into it. That is a major, major deal that people get injections for, but this is a natural way to be able to produce that human growth hormone, which adds to so much in terms of anti-aging and ability to be able to grow muscle and so forth. I don't understand all the science. I've got a link I'm going to put in the description from interview with Phil Campbell that I enjoyed, and you can find out more stuff about him out there, and you can find out more about HIIT and what he's calling SIT now, Sprint Interval Training, which is really more of his style of Sprint 8. So really interesting stuff if you want to find out more. If you ever want to ask me details on it, be sure and leave a comment wherever you're watching or listening to this. Thanks for coming. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.